Welcome to another aXpire update, this time for week 42 of 2019. This week has been another one of hard work. Development is going strong, and we just completed another bug test of the Biller application, working on further improvements and enhancements leading up to its launch in February at the Legal Tech 2020 conference. Beyond this, we're working hard to complete the integrations and the compliance side of the PayBX application after successfully completing the framework for the app's functions. We can't say too much about PayBX yet, but it's looking really good. We're excited to expand our reach into shorter sales/marketing cycles with both the PayBX and the Biller applications. Resolver is also doing great, undergoing phases of enhancements funded by our anchor client. We're still essentially making it bigger and better, all supported by the client who requested the application in the first place. This ensures that we're continuously adding features that are legitimately wanted by users. Beyond this, we're talking to a few interesting parties about Resolver, hoping to onboard the application into new organizations in the not-too-distant future. There's clear interest, but the sales cycles are long and with pauses. Not all weeks will have new updates on this front. As for digital shares, or Coinbox, we're working with the potential client we met in Miami to figure out if there's a good fit for us to work together, which it seems like there is. If this interaction goes well, then we'll probably enter into a similar relationship like with our anchor client for Resolver, wherein further developments are co-funded by both parties. This will allow us to grow the application to a point where it offers bountiful side modules like investor onboarding digitization and more, all of which could be used without necessarily tokenizing anything itself, but merely by further digitizing parts of their business. Digitizing or removing paper, spreadsheets, and PDFs is something we've been working towards from the very start. Resolver does it, Biller does it, and digital shares as modules will too. That's all for the project side of this week's update. Next, we have This Week in Crypto, bringing a collection of news and happenings from this past week to your attention, as well as giving you our brief opinion on them. As has become a weekly event, let's start off with news about the Libra Association and Facebook. This week, the Libra Association took a few heavy hits by losing several of its members. Booking Holdings, MasterCard, Visa, eBay, Stripe, and PayPal left the organization, several of them quoting regulatory concerns as the reason for leaving. This is not particularly surprising given that many of these payments firms want to avoid the unfavorable eye of the US regulatory bodies, relying on their favor for much of their business. The United States Treasury Secretary stated that the firms left due to the Libra Association not being up to anti-money laundering standards, a key part of all payments firms that wish to comply with the United States regulators. Being in violation of this is not something firms wish to do. Regardless of this, the Libra Association held their inaugural meeting, forming a board of directors led by Facebook's David Marcus and joined by 4 other members coming from Kiva Microfunds, PayU, Andreessen Horowitz, and Sapa Holdings, respectively. The head of policy and communications at the Libra Association had the following to say in regards to recent regulatory movements against Libra, saying, quote, "It's a correction, it's not a setback." But then he later admitted to Cointelegraph's reporters that the coin could face delays as regulators continue to scrutinize the project. At this point, you all know what our position is in regards to the Libra project. Regardless, it will be interesting to see how the October 23rd hearing with Mark Zuckerberg turns out. No matter the actual results of the hearing, one thing is certain. The internet will have a field day making memes and jokes about both the contents of the hearing and Mr. Zuckerberg's interesting disposition. In other news, Ernst & Young has just launched a platform for tracking government spend called the Ops Chain Public Finance Manager, or PFM. PFM will allow citizens to track a government's spend, ensuring that funds are allocated to the correct areas, as indicated by yearly budgets. EY has also said that the platform will feature post-expenditure reports, giving citizens insights into how effective different policies spent are, and lining up expenditure reports with the direct outcomes of each dollar. If the PFM system goes into effect, then it will be great for opening up for more government transparency. The question is, however, which governments are willing to subject themselves to intense public scrutiny? I certainly hope that the public model becomes the standard moving into the future, but I personally can't see it being adopted very quickly. Interestingly enough, however, the Canadian city of Toronto is piloting the platform. We think it's great to see. Blockchain is such a powerful tool for good, and integrating it into government and thereby involving citizens further is a great development. Ernst & Young said the pilot helped further the city's transparency and efficiency, with the chief financial officer of the City of Toronto saying the following, quote, "With a commitment to championing the economic, social and environmental vitality of the City of Toronto, our officials strive to implement technologies that best help us meet our residents' evolving needs." In charitable news, we have more from the United Nations. The UN, or at least their development program, has reportedly partnered with a Dutch NGO called the Fairchain Foundation. The goals of the partnership is to, quote, "tokenize chocolate bars for equitable trade." While this may sound a bit out there, it's actually a great idea. The details of it are that through the partnership, the partners will launch a brand new chocolate bar created with Ecuadorian cocoa. Fairchain will purchase the cocoa ingredients at a much higher premium than other commercial actors, helping the farmers get closer to a living wage, which in many cases they are not getting. The chocolate bar itself will also feature a QR code which will lead to a wallet address and a supply chain where consumers can donate directly to the farmers with a token-based solution, as well as where they can track the origins of the cocoa in their specific chocolate bar. The overall goal of the project is to, quote, "turn every product into a capitalist impact engine." We're positive about the project, but it's important that we ensure that donations are not the standard which makes farmers whole after greedy companies swoop in. Like with recent ride-sharing and food delivery app scandals, donations are often used as a part of workers' payments, giving companies a reason to pay them less. Whilst enabling direct and transparent donations is good, it's important that companies stay liable for ensuring that workers are paid fairly. It should not be the consumer's prerogative to further improve company profit margins. In the last piece of news for this week's update, the Brave browser, led by Mozilla Firefox and JavaScript founder Brendan Eich, announced that they hit 8 million active monthly users. This is great news for several different reasons. Firstly, it's great for the cryptocurrency space, given that the Brave browser is super crypto-friendly and offers their own crypto through the basic attention token, which is used to reward Brave users for watching ads and so on. Secondly, it's great for privacy, as Brave is one of the very best, if not the best, privacy-centric browser out there. Brave offers automatic ad block, script block, third-party cookie blockers, and so on. Brave also offers a built-in Tor browser, which is previously unheard of. We're super positive about Brave, and most of our company's executives have actually changed over to the Brave browser already. We highly encourage you to make the switch. Most of you listening probably use Chrome, and so the switch over to Brave is actually very simple as it's Chromium-based. Easily input your history, bookmarks, and browser extensions. Anyways, enough Brave praise. That's all for this week's update. I hope to see you again next week. Thank you.